and I thought I'm coming into like more of a third world setting, and then you get off the plane, or when you look at, it's like nothing but high rises. It's modern city, the monorails there. They got the subway. It's clean. And I'm like, this is totally different than what I thought. I had an addictive personality. I used to drink a lot. I used to party a lot. I kind of changed that, like where it's just traveling. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like I'm here, but I'm always thinking about like, well, this is wonderful, but what's the next place? Even though it's a hectic place, it's kind of chilled out that's the way I look at it. Like, whereas like, hey, Chicago, the people are nice, but it's a little aggressive.
This is Dan of Vagabond Awake. Today we're lucky to have Quinn on the channel. Quinn, put her there.
All right. Welcome
to the channel.
Thank you.
So Quinn, where are we sitting right now, and where are you from?
Da Nang, Vietnam, and I'm from Chicago.
Chicago?
Yeah.
So Quinn, is this your first time outside the U.S., or have you been to some other places?
No, I've been around. I started traveling, like 30 years ago or whatever. I was in Costa Rica, Mexico, went through Europe a little bit, started going to Southeast Asia, so I kind of get around.
And you mentioned Albania also?
Yeah, Albania. I stayed there for a couple months.
And where have you been in Southeast Asia?
Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, and here.
Wow. So you sound like a slow traveler. Is that, like, how would you define slow travel as different from the normal way people do things?
I try just to stay as long as I can. If they give me, 60 days, I'll try to stay to 60. If they give me 90, I'll try to stay to 90. If I don't like it, I just kind of wrap up and go someplace else.
Wow, that's how I define it. That's great. So what was it that put you on this idea of slow travel or staying in places longer than a traditional traveler?
So at first I kind of thought I'd find a spot when I quit working to leave, the U.S., and maybe that was going to be Mexico or Costa Rica or something like that. Like, I kind of like seeing other places, other things. So instead of just trying to get like your papers for one place, your visa, I saw your channel, I saw other channels too, and it was like, well, you can kind of rotate around a little bit. And right now the plan is kind of like Southeast Asia, the Balkans, Mexico kind of thing, That's the plan.
What's an example of maybe when you've left early, not the place, but like some places you go a couple weeks is enough, some places you'd stay longer than the visa even allows, or?
Well, I was doing visa runs in Thailand until they kind of said no more visa runs at the airport. So, Thailand would be ideal for me. Honestly, it's probably the most perfect place up until here, to be honest with you. But it just seems a little cumbersome to do it. There's a lot of paperwork in Thailand. I love it. It's just a little bureaucratic, it seems to be.
Right.
But here, I've only been here about 10 days now, and I like it. I'd have no problem doing 90 days or even longer here. But I went to London one time, or twice actually, and both times I was just like, I don't like it here. It's too expensive, and I didn't like it, so I just bailed and went to France or went to Spain or wherever.
Right. It's quite a luxury, isn't it, to actually see a place with your own eyes and decide whether you like it or not and how long you're going to stay based on your on-the-ground experience.
Yeah, look, the UK, I'm sure it's a nice place. It just was expensive, and I was burning through cash, and I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. Other people might like it.
Well, sure, yeah. That's the beauty of the world. We all have our favorites, and other places we don't like as much. So, but yeah, money is a thing, That's for sure.
The UK, it's not cheap. London's not cheap.
Yeah. So you mentioned Thailand and here in Vietnam. What other places feel like in line with your personality, would you say?
I really liked Malaysia. When I was doing visa runs, I was coming out of Thailand, going into Malaysia. And I'll be honest with you, like the first time I went to Kuala Lumpur, I knew the Petronas Towers was there, but that's all I knew.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm coming into like more of a third world setting, you know, and then you get off the plane, or when you look at, it's like nothing but high rises. It's modern city, you know, the monorails there. They got the subway. It's clean. And I'm like, this is totally different than what I thought. And then, like culturally, you have like different, you know, cultures coming. It was very interesting to me. So I liked Malaysia a lot. I liked Albania a lot, you know, and the people were pretty friendly, you know. When somebody shook your hand, it kind of meant something there. They look, it's kind of a different, you know, vibe in the U.S. I love Latin America, you know. I can speak the lingo, and you know, it's a little bit easier for me to get around there. So I wasn't sure when I came here to Asia if I would like it or not, but I wanted to try it out, and I really like it. I don't know what's going on a lot of the times, but it's still fun. You know what I mean? You know.
Yeah, it's funny. Albania, Malaysia. You seem to like many of the same countries I do. What is it about a country that makes you think, you know what, if it's just easy to be there or something? How would you characterize that?
I'm kind of a city guy, so I you know, Bangkok, even though it's chaotic, the BTS is right there. You can take the train, and you can. It was easy for me to fit in. My friend, she came out. She's from LA, and she's like, "This is crazy," and I'm like, "I love it," you know. But mostly the people. If they're nice people, I can get along with it and fit in. You know, Asia is like you're kind of all on top of each other, but the people are polite and they're nice, and even though it's a hectic place, it's kind of chilled out. You know, that's the way I look at it. Like. You know, whereas like, hey, Chicago, the people are nice, but it's a little aggressive. You know, like you gotta kind of watch it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different vibe. I kind of relax a little bit more here. And,
that's a good way to put it. Relax. If you relax in a country, that's a good sign. So, have you had any experience with dental or medical?
When I was in Kuala Lumpur, I did go to that Prince Court, and I got the executive checkup. And got a bunch of MRIs as well.
Right.
While I was there, I paid with a credit card for the MRIs. It was about $2,000 for all in for everything. It probably would have cost me 10, 15 grand back in the U.S., maybe even more. You know. And it's right. You just schedule it, and they're like, "How about tomorrow? How about next week?" You're not waiting 3 months to get a spot. It's almost like an assembly line, but it's good. But you know, it's 1, 2, 3, and you're done. I also did find a dentist. I think it was like $20 to get my teeth cleaned. Some X-rays in Kuala Lumpur. You can't beat it. You know.
And the package at Prince Court sounds like you got some additional MRIs.
Well, I got other stuff going on. I worked construction my whole life, so I just wanted to see what you know. Why does my neck feel like it's on fire? You know, well, you got a blown out disc, you know. What's the matter with my knee? You know, it's been hurting for 20 years. Well, I tore something, you know. So it's like, these are just things, you know, like if you work construction, if you take time off, you're not going to get paid. So you kind of like try to work through it if you can.
Of course.
But it's to the point now where this hurts all day, every day, and I got to go take care of it.
To just be able to walk into a hospital and fears you have on your mind. You just get like, I had my heart checked for $174. I had no plaque. That was always a fear for me, you know. Like, am I going to fall over dead? And, you know, if I only have a few years left, I might change how I behave or whatever. But
that's why, like, I'm real nice. You know, when I lived in Thailand, I would walk out and say hello to the whole neighborhood because I always feared, like, hey, if I have the grabber and I, you know, drop on the ground, I want somebody to call 911. Like, you know, like just, hey, this guy's a nice guy. Call 911 and load him up on the meat wagon. You know?
Exactly. That's great. So do you see yourself on a mission to find your very favorite place that you will retire in one day, or is this, do you feel it's a lifestyle choice for you?
At one time, I thought like the ideal spot. I'm going to find my ideal spot, but I had an addictive personality. I used to drink a lot. I used to party a lot. I kind of changed that, like where it's just traveling. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like I'm here, but I'm always thinking about like, well, this is wonderful, but what's the next place, you know? And I like going to see new places. obviously, as you get older, you're going to slow down a little bit. And eventually, you're going to have to find a spot, probably because hauling a suitcase and traveling, it's going to get a little bit more difficult, But
yeah, I would think, eventually maybe.
Yeah, but for right now, I'm happy doing the Southeast Asia circuit. You can get a year out of it, or maybe even longer, and hit the Balkans and Croatia, Montenegro, Albania. That's another year and a half. And hit Mexico for 6 months. Go visit family in the U.S. and start all over again. That's the plan anyway. If there is a plan.
Yeah, that's where I've ended up after 18 years. I can't get off that plan. I love it so much.
Well, you get I saw your video and I'm like, I started watching your channels and I'm like, this ain't a bad way to live. You guys got it down to a science. Not a bad way to live.
Yeah, there seems to be like a juice you get out of that new place. I don't know whether it's 3 weeks or 6 weeks. It depends on the place, maybe.
Sure.
But you get this juice when you first get this excitement, but pretty soon you're jonesing for a new place, like you said. Eventually, it might be a month or two, but eventually you want to see.
Some places click though. I mean, there's places like I was going to go on this run in. I was going to get my medical stuff in Malaysia and then bail out again. But I'm like, I went to Penang and I'm like, I really like Penang. Is nice. I'd only been to KL and Kota Kinabalu before, and I'm like, let me try Penang, and I'm like, this is great, this is new, this is interesting. So I stayed in Penang for a month, and you just kind of find your spot, and but I find I got different spots for different. You feel a little different about places. Malaysia's really nice, but I don't have the money for it. Like, seems like they want to, if you were going to settle down there, they want a wealthy, kind of expat.
Clientele.
I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy they're looking for.
Yeah, that's true for a lot of people. Everyone loves Malaysia. But it's expensive to retire there.
Sure.
So what were your maybe a couple favorite cities in Albania and Thailand?
I stayed in Skodra, whatever, Albania. I was walking down the street there, and there was a hotel, a little small place, and the guy said $45 a night. I said, how much for 30 nights? And he's like 15 $15 a night. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take it. And it was like a 2.5-star place. It was clean. There was like a hose attached to the sink, for your shower and all that. There was nobody else in the place. So I stayed there for a month. I went into Tirana, stayed there for about a week. Tirana was really nice. Then I went to this little town called 𝗏, old, cobblestone street kind of place. Gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And I like taking pictures. I'm no good at taking pictures, but it's hard not to take good ones, when you're in a set. It's right by the river. There's bridges. It's all old stonework houses. So those were the 3 cities I stayed in Albania. Thailand, so I lived in Pattaya for about 8 months. I was in Wanggamat Beach, about 15, 20 minutes away from the craziness, So it was nice. It was, I got really lucky. I had 3 apartments there, all like right on the beach there, sunset, coming down. Walk out, there's restaurants, and everything I needed was within like 100 yards this way, 100 yards that way. It was really nice. And if I wanted to go into town, it was a 15-minute Bolt, cab ride or whatever into town.
So what's an example, like when you were in Thailand for that long, what was your monthly expense like?
All right, so I kind of got burned on my last apartment, but it was a beautiful view. So it was, I could have got the apartment for about $550, but she got me for $650, I wasn't even mad. I just told her next time I come back, she says, okay. It was about $650 a month for the apartment. I would go get a Western breakfast down the street, eggs, bacon, that was $650 a day.
Right.
Get a couple smoothies, and at night I would eat fried rice, off the street. So all in, $1,200, Right. But if you're drinking and you're partying and all that, obviously it's going to go up. But I was getting by on 15 $15 a day, and I lost 40 pounds there. I'm still fat, but I was fatter. You know what I mean? I'm from Chicago. It's good food over there, but I I felt good. You know what I mean? I felt healthier and just happier. And it's funny, when I went to Malaysia, you know, part of that package was like the nutritionist. You sit with the nutritionist.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she's like, well, your cholesterol is a little high. And I'm like, well, I lost 40 pounds. And she's telling me, like, what do you eat? And I tell her, like, Malaysian food. She's like, oh, it's no good. This is bad. This is bad. I'm like, I'm losing weight. I feel better than I ever, like, you know, she's like, what do you eat in Chicago? I'm like, pizza and hot dog, you know, like, it's just, And I don't know, I just felt healthier and it was cheaper. And I just think for me, it's I just feel better.
What about dating? Have you done some dating? Or any romance in your travels?
Look, if you're a single guy here, it's fun, you know, like it's a fun place. There's, just leave it at that. You can, it's fun here, you know. Tell them I'm looking for a rich wife, you know, and same like I was in the U.S., you know. But yeah, you can have a good time here. You know,
slow traveling. What's like a budget, annual budget for you? Like what's your burn rate per year? I know it depends on country, but.
So I think the number I try to stay at is somewhere around $1,500 a month. You know, I'm trying to hit that number. Yeah. Sometimes it's a little more because, you know, things pop up. You blow out a suitcase or, you know, you get burned on a cab ride or sometimes, you know, things pop up. But I would say 1,500 is a number I shoot for a month. Sometimes it's a little more. I landed in Zurich when I started this. I landed in Zurich. And I was supposed to go right to Albania, but I kind of got sidetracked in Budapest and Vienna and like Italy. You know what I mean? It's like I burned through a lot of cash those couple of months.
Right.
But when's, you know, maybe I'll never be able to go back there again. You know.
Right.
So, but I would shoot for like 1,500 if you want to be comfortable. Look, I think with $2,000 you can live in a lot of places around the world pretty good. I mean, it depends on if you're roughing it, you could probably cut that down to 1,100 maybe, you know, in some spots, but that's like no emergencies. Maybe you're not living in the best neighborhood. I don't want to go camping. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking hot water, AC, you know, that kind of stuff. I shoot for like 1,500. And if you're in that neighborhood, you know, you'll be fine. Other people can do it for less, I'm sure.
Yeah,
you know,
and some go more.
Yeah,
we grew up in the U.S. and from our movies and from our music and culture and all that, we hear how it's dangerous outside the U.S. and maybe things are mixed up or backwards. Like you mentioned Kuala Lumpur, you thought you were going to you were surprised that the KL towers were not the only high rises. It's a beautiful, clean city. What do you say to people that have these ideas about what the world is and what it really is?
So this is the part that like kind of gets me in trouble with my friends and family sometimes.
The
U.S. is a great country. Don't get me wrong. There's opportunity. You know, you can come with nothing and become a millionaire. However, in some parts and in some ways, like Kuala Lumpur might be a little bit ahead of us with the infrastructure. Like Chicago, we have trains, but the train system, it's pretty old, it's pretty raggedy, it's not on time anymore, it's not safe, I would say, you know. I don't necessarily feel scared in Chicago, but I'm aware that unless you're in the airport, you know, anything can happen, you know. The airport's got metal detectors, but I just think sometimes people assume like we got the best of everything in the United States. They're doing it as good, or maybe even better in some cases, than we are, you know. And I don't know if that's just everything's leveling out, like the standard of living is rising and maybe it's diminishing in the U.S., you know, or maybe they're passing us up. I will say I spent a little time in Japan and they're definitely ahead of us, you know, in a lot of ways.
Just the idea that it's okay to go out into the world and see it with your own eyes and make your own decision is. I've just been blown away by the world. I think it's, you know, I'm from the U.S. I feel really lucky that I was born in the U.S. It's made this life possible for me. But I wander around the planet without a fear in the world. And I'm not saying there aren't bad places, or, you know, but it surprises me how beautiful the world is.
99.99% of the people that travel come back home, you know, just with a sunburn or something like this, so you'll probably be fine.
Quinn, you mentioned photography. You also do some videos. What's the name of your channel, and what do you like to on your YouTube channel? What do you like to?
The channel's called The Blue Collar Tourist. look, I just been around. I saw some cool places. I'm kind of doing it different. I got a lot of credit card points or whatever. I'm burning through those, but it's not really like a hotel channel. It's just, I'm trying to figure all this out. It's more of like a lot of YouTube channels are for, I did well. I sold houses. I'm a millionaire.
Oh yeah.
I'm not that guy. You know, I'm just a normal construction worker. Maybe you're looking for a way out, and I'm just saying, hey, if you're just an average person, you can travel.
That's a great message. Thanks for coming on the channel.
Thank you.
Go on over to Quinn's channel. I'll put it up here so you can see where to go. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.